journey of GRC and Financial Crime Prevention in Nigeria. Nigeria has been independent of Great Britain for more than 60 years, but despite gaining self-government and having access to a vast array of human and material resources, the country has not achieved sustainable development, steady growth, or progressive change. This is because financial crime in the society pose a danger to the country's ability to prosper economically and politically. Due to the harm that financial crime has caused, it is necessary to keep it to a minimum in the financial industry. The vulnerability of Nigeria's financial sector to systemic distress and macroeconomic volatility has frequently disrupted its ability to perform its function, making the emergence of political instability inevitable. What is the origin of financial crime in the financial services sector in Nigeria?
When it comes to financial crime in Nigeria, it basically predates our independence, right from the colonial era. As a matter of fact, during the slave trade, I think the slave trade ended in 1833. Then after that, we still discovered that people come from Britain and from other places to trade in slave in Africa, in Nigeria, and so on. And of course, before you can do that kind of a business, you must be corrupt. And of course, those that are involved in it are kings, are people that has name in the society through bribery with hot drinks and so on. People are being taken as slaves and so on. It goes on and on like that. After independence from 1960 to 1963, it is a whole load of corruption all over the place, and banks were not left out. Financial crimes all over the place.
The financial crimes risk management became very prominent was when the Obasanjo administration actually set up the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission and followed it up with the setting up of the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit, the NFIU. And in the financial industry, not many local banks at that time actually paid a lot of attention to financial crime risk management. You will see that mostly done within those global banks.
From the Nigerian perspective, it was not until the Money Laundering Prohibition Act 2011, as amended in 2012, that now was able to comply with what the Financial Action Task Force had already delved into the risk management process. Because in that particular lane of the 2003 recommendations from the Financial Action Task Force, what we saw in the institution was the enhanced due diligence. And in 2007, we saw a display of the 3 stages of the risk management process, which was going from customer due diligence to enhanced due diligence and to enhanced ongoing monitoring. So this is what began as what is now known as the risk management process. So everything was being displayed in Nigeria as it was being done there. They had to comply with international norms because the Financial Action Task Force is the intergovernmental body that sets the global standard for the entire. It's not like an international convention per se, but it is guided by the political will and desire for countries to commit themselves to fight financial crime as a whole. So that is what we saw in the development, all the way starting from the 1990s to 1996 and going all the way to 2003. These 3 stages of the risk management process was being displayed, and they all galvanized into what we now know as the process it is today. So it was a level of risk that now be metamorphosed into what it is now. It was dependent on what we saw from the different money laundering risks that were coming up, and that we saw like from drug trafficking that was very prevalent. That was what now galvanized into the risk management process we have today.
One issue that has become so pervasive in the nation is financial crime, which has slowed growth across the board for the country's economy and is the main barrier to the nation's ability to attract direct foreign investment quickly.
In terms of what the challenges are, at the heart of the fight against financial crime, anti-financial crime, is the issue of due diligence, customer due diligence, and the implementation of a strong anti-money laundering, countering financing of terrorism, and now proliferation of weapons of mass destruction program. And that was where we had a problem, because we didn't have sufficient skills.
We have a very limited individual professional in this space that could help to fine-tune and help to develop the right framework that is best suited for this area in Nigeria as we speak. Not there to say that there are no professionals enough, but we need to have more people that have expertise within this space. In the area of technology, all around the world, we have seen various countries developing fintech solutions to drive all of their compliance departments. They've automated their systems. There's a lot of AI technology that helps to build payment platform, build compliance function, do a lot of magical things within a second, as against what is currently being processed in this part of the world. And also the enabling environment to implement these kind of solutions are not there. Where are the people, where are the skills to help to develop this application of these solutions? I think there are gaps in that space within the technologies.
We found ourselves not having the appropriate framework in Nigeria to be able to deal with that. And then we also have the issue of, like I had earlier mentioned, governance. There was no proper governance structure and government buy-in.
They commit certain offenses that relates to financial crime, especially governors. They commit so much offenses, and of course they have immunity. Until they leave that position, nobody can basically sue them or do anything about them. Then the issue of constitutional protection. Some officials were protected, judges were protected, and so on. And many of them are basically endemically corrupt. And when you see a situation where these people, nothing will happen to them when they are corrupt, there is no stiffer penalty.
There should be a certain amount of penalty that should come from to hit any organization that breaches or that breaches any regulatory requirement or conditions. I mean, there should be, which is what is being practiced anywhere outside the country. If you allow your financial system to be used for money laundering activities, you haven't got the right people in place, you haven't put the right training, you haven't put the right system to mitigate and protect customer information, to mitigate and protect customer data, to protect customer money. I think you should be fined. There should be sort of a consequence for bad behaviors. This is what we're saying, and government needs to get it right here.
You see what happened recently? Some governors were basically held as being corrupt and so on, and of course they were released. They stole billions, and of course they were released. And that shows that whoever that is coming in as a governor in those states will also steal loot the treasury of that state, because he knows that those that did it initially, nothing happened to them. And of course you can expect that it will continue.
No matter the internal controls you have, whether you have effective policies, procedures, processes, it is not enough if you have employees that are kind of being fraudulent or connive with politically exposed persons, just to, whether they are trying to structure transactions in order to invade currency transaction reporting, suspicious activity reporting. All those are big issues in terms of display.
We also have issues around culture. There's this thing about culture. Our cultural background has a way of affecting the way we carry out due diligence information. I give you an example. One of the very common questions that are asked to people who want to have financial intermediation relationship, like open an account with a financial institution, is to give your mother's maiden name. That could actually pose a big problem for some people when you ask them for mother's maiden name, because of the kind of affinity they have with mothers, and you cannot ask an adult to call their mother by their name. So that could create serious issues in places like in the north, especially, and then following that is the issue of the level of literacy.
No public awareness. People are still being duped. It is only when the awareness goes round that everybody will be aware, everybody will be cautious, everybody will know what to release and what not to release. One day I went to the bank, somebody came to report that there is a case of internet fraud on his account. The banker, a lady that is working in the bank, said that even her own money was stolen, that she was looking at her system like this and her money was going. Each Nigerian averagely loses 35,000 naira averagely annually to financial crime. Everybody loses in one way or the other. When you go to withdraw from ATM, what you are being charged in most cases are not correct. When you transfer money to somebody, you are charged, the other person is charged. That is fraud. That is fraud. When you transfer money, you are charged, the person you transfer money to is charged, and so on. So these are patently fraudulent transactions. And $18 billion in Nigeria is being lost annually to financial crimes.
These are only a few of the many cases of financial fraud and corruption. The CBN published an enhanced fraud prevention and KYC framework. According to CBN, the framework would improve the efficiency of Know Your Customer and customer due diligence procedures as part of the overall plan for ensuring a secure and effective payment system.
Technology over the years have played an important role. Organizations should invest in technology.
When we say technology, most times when people hear automated systems, people feel the first thing that comes to their mind is AI, artificial intelligence. It's broken into two. You have, traditionally programmed systems in place that are rule-based. They call them sometimes robotic process automation. Then you have the one that is artificial intelligence-enabled system that can learn from previous experience on its own. The two of them are, so what we are going to see is a combination, a hybrid approach to compliance.
If you are not investing in a solution to support your GRC, governance, risk and compliance, and financial crime department that you have or your sector, then you are a step behind. Then you'll be missing the game.
When you use AI and robotics in the financial sector, you are not going to see anything that you call financial crime anymore.
The future direction of governance, risk, compliance, and financial crime in the financial services sector in Nigeria.
The future of GRC and film crime in Nigeria is an exciting thing. Like I said previously, and various seminars and events I've answered similar questions. Nigeria is a very growing growing compliance and risks and financial crime prevention. However, a number of initiatives has already gone ahead of us. There are a number of associations that was already sanitizing the environment. We have Compliance Institute of Nigeria. We have Risk Institute Management of Nigeria. We have Enterprise Risk Association as well. We have a lot of academic bodies of professional organization that have put together a fantastic partnership with the private sector and also a public sector to ensure that organizations have the right system, the right control, the right governance, the right ethics, the right behavior to help to advance the GRC and the free crime press. Work that's currently ongoing.
The way out is massive education, vigilance, digital vigilance, stiff punishment for crime like they do in China.
we can do more. There's always a room for us to expand and increase and improve the way we do things, the way we serve our customer, the way we improve our systems and controls. How do we do that? We continue to invest the right research, invest in manpower, train our people. In Nigeria, we have the skills. I believe a number of initiatives are currently ongoing from the government investing, and also some organizations also investing, but we need to do more. Okay, the tone from the top need to change. The board members, the non-exec, the management of all these organizations, whether you are in FIs or you are in any other sector, whatever sector you find yourself, okay, we need to be discussing that at the board level. How do we encourage, how do we invest in governance to have the right framework, to have the right control, to have the right system in place to make sure that we are doing things right, we are reporting correctly on time, and that can be done effectively and efficiently by investing in the right solution.
We expect that financial institutions are going to rely more on artificial intelligence enabled system, whether or not it's supervised machine learning and the combination of unsupervised machine learning. The two of them coming together that will galvanize together and make it the systems and controls, internal controls, much more effective and make it much more of a deterrent, so that this money launderers will not be able to penetrate through the system. So this is one of the things that we're there. So there's going to be a major shift. We're already seeing it with the COVID-19 period, where people were already moving. But the difference now is that people are not going to be inclined to adopt that hybrid approach to compliance, which we now call intelligent automation.
I mean, there's so many of them out there: CRM systems, GRC systems, KYC systems, audit systems, risk control system, operational system. You can lay your hands on, and I believe a number of individuals in your team might have interests in picking up the skills, and the organization should be investing and sending their team into training to make sure that they catch this knowledge and they're able to deploy this knowledge within their team and within their organization to help them to grow their business. And thank you very much.